Good morning over on YouTube. We're rolling the intro right now inside a chat for members. So come on in, get settled, say good morning. And over the next 25 minutes, we're going to take the time, guys, to get you prepared for the day, what I'm looking at and why I'm looking at it. Hopefully you guys can make some money and learn while you're here for the next 25 minutes. So enjoy today's session because these aren't going to be going on too much longer here on YouTube. So enjoy these while you can, lock in some profits while you can. Let's have fun today, and let's end the month strong and profitable. Brian, what's up? Jack, how we doing? Knowledge After Dusk, what's good? How we doing? And everybody on TikTok, I will see you guys over on YouTube. Alpha Day Trading. See you guys there. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Alpha Nation? What's going on? And welcome back. Happy Money Tuesday and happy final day of February. You guys know when it's the last day of the month, we go all out. We dominate it. We lock in those big time profits, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be back. And like always, I'm excited to work with each and every one of you. So hit me real quick with a big old Alpha Day Trading. You know what it is. Good morning. Hit me with it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get you all fired up. Let's get you guys all hyped up, in the zone, ready to go, ready to crush this market and lock in some big time profits. Like always excited to be here, to work with you, to drop those value bombs, to make sure you guys are getting that education, but most importantly, having some fun and locking in those profits. And you guys have been crushing it lately. Some big time profits, consistent profits. You guys are definitely making me proud. You're applying what you're learning. You're seeing results. You feeling good? You feeling confident? Let's keep up the good work. Today, what's the theme of the day? Someone tell me. What's the theme of the day? What's like the main thing that I want to say before I say it? Does anybody know? What's today's theme? The theme of today. What is it? I'm not going to say a word until you guys tell me what it is. Tacos? It gets king. Theme of the day. Tacos. Nick hit it on the head. Capital preservation, right? Like why would you work your butts off the entire month of February to be up thousands of dollars, right? I don't know what you guys are up, but you're profitable. You're green, right? Why would you not position yourself correctly today, be really dialed in and focused, make bad decisions, and not think capital preservation and possibly give a lot of those profits back or all of them? I can't tell you how many times as a new trader that I've come in last couple of days of the month. My mindset is, I got to make more money. I got to make more money. I actually go red for the month. And I was up green. And I'm like, what? Capital preservation. That's it. If we can lock in profits, let's lock in profits and big time profits. But let's make sure that we're positioned correctly on every single trade to not give these hard-earned profits back. I want each and every one of you walking away in the green. So today's theme, front and center in your mind, is going to be capital preservation. Trade plans, getting positioned on these trades correctly. Not being aggressive unless you can control that aggression. Making it happen. Quality setups like always. But the main takeaway is capital preservation, guys. All right, so let's not waste any time. Let's dive into it. We are about 20 minutes until the market opens on up. So we got a couple pennies that are worth watching today. Number one, you got CDIO. CDIO is leading the board up 145% at this point in time. And the shares are jumping after they launched a revolutionary blood test for early detection of heart disease, which is insane. So launching a revolutionary blood test for early detection of heart disease, that is killer. No wonder the stock is up right now 145%, trading 16 million shares on average, 500,000. So we have the volume, we have the attention. Traders are here right now because that press release was absolutely killer. And the flow is nice and low as well. And we know that, hey, this is going to be easy to see the stock really rip and run 50 cents, $1 at a time, because that float is nice and low. This stock's gone from 133 to 338 since they dropped that press release at 8 o'clock. So you're talking a little over an hour. The stock has gone on a huge move, over $2 to the upside. And I'm sure you guys are asking, Josh, all right, cool. It's up 145%. Could it go another 100% to the upside, 50%? Is there more room here on CDIO? The answer is yes, absolutely. If we can break 333 and stay above 333. Gap down, open. You see where we gapped down and we opened right around 330. You see that spiking high? It's right around 330. That's going to be a key level of resistance here on CDIO. If we can break above and stay above that 333, take a look at the daily chart. Where do we have room to go? The IPO opened. So the day that we opened, right? This was the first live trading day here on CDIO, and its low of day was at 371. That's going to be a level of resistance. Then you see that third day. That third day was a green day. You see that spiking high. It was right around the IPO open, right around 426. So we know that our first level of resistance, if we break through 333, is going to be 371. That's going to be PT1, profit target number 1. Then if we break 371, we have some psychological resistance at 4, but I don't think that psychological resistance is going to be a huge issue. I think we can definitely just push right through that $4 level up to that 426, PT number 2, profit target number 2. And then I do believe you could absolutely see this thing rip and run to the IPO high of 525. So to answer those questions that I'm sure you guys have, Josh, can this stock move any higher? Or is it going to dump on off? Well, it very well could dump on off, guys. It could, right? Imagine how many investors and traders are bag holding this stock from the IPO at 455. Like, imagine how many people may be stuck in this, and they may look at this as an opportunity to get the heck out, right? You could see the stock just dump on off and fade and fall, but the press release is killer. That press release alone, I would believe, would bring in so much more hype today and volume and attention that, hey, even if you have a lot of profit taking from these bag holders, we still have more demand and we could see the stock move higher. It hasn't dumped on off yet, and I do think there's a lot of great potential to the upside, guys. Where is going to be your support level at this point in time, right? We know where resistance is. We know what level we need to break before getting involved up to our next levels of resistance. But what if we get rejected here at 333? What if we can't break and we're looking for maybe a dip buy off a support level or looking to get in as close to support as possible? Go back to the daily chart and look, right here. That prior spiking high was at 284. So I would say down towards around 275 to 284. Why would I say 275, right? Well, you see this pre-market top here? It was right at 275. We came up to 275, got rejected. We broke 275 and pushed that 284 high. So I would give yourself a bit of a window of support between 275 and 284 is going to be the best level of support if we do get rejected here at 333 and start to pull back. But you do have another level of support at this point in time, right? Our next closest level of support is that 275 to that spiking high of around 284. But you also have a slight trend line that could hold the stock up as support as well. You see, we have a bit of this trend line right now at this point in time. Let's see if we come down to the trend line and hold and bounce. If we come into the trend line and we see it bounce, we could take a trade off that trend line for the next leg on up, for that next pop, for that next rip and run. We could absolutely look to get involved off this trend line if we see the confirmation bounce. But if we crack that trend line and fail to break above 333, that's when I believe with a lot of confidence we're coming back down to that 275 to 284 support level. And if we crack that level, ladies and gentlemen, we could come all the way back down towards around 227. So I think there's a lot of great potential here with the stock. Again, press release, killer. Low float, great volume, a lot of attention, a lot of demand, a lot of buyers and activity. here with the stock right now at this point in time. So keep it on high watch. If you guys like breakouts, break over 333 up to 371. If you hold a runner on this trade, right, your runner could take you to 426 and then 525. If you guys don't like trading breakouts, okay, let the stock pull back and let's see if we get that pullback. Trendline support right now at this point in time. If the trend line cracks, you could definitely pull back once again to that 275 to 284 support level. CDIO is the number one stock right now at this point in time. Okay, and then AMC, because I know a lot of you guys are like, Josh, AMC, what do you think it's going to do? This stock's going to go nuclear off earnings. I mean, it could rip, but it could also dump on off. Like, we just don't know what's going to happen, what their earnings are going to look like. But it's a hype stock. It's a meme stock. It has earnings. There's a reason for there to be more buyers and more activity and more volume here with the stock. So do I think we could see some anticipation movements ahead of earnings tonight and see more upside potential with AMC? Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. So where's support right now? Down towards around $7.40. You're going to have some support down towards around $7.40. Where's resistance? Yesterday's high a day of $8.19. You're basically looking for a break over yesterday's high a day to get that continuation move today up into your next level of resistance, which will be that prior spiking high of 916. And then your main level of resistance today is going to be this red line, which is your 200 SMA. That's the main level of resistance that traders are looking to take this to. All right. So if you break over yesterday's high a day and stay above yesterday's high a day of 819, you could play this long to 916 and then 956. Current support right now back down towards around 743. This is going to be the number 2 stock. Okay. And then we have some back burner sleepers. Okay. We talked about this one yesterday, and these are actually still posted inside of Levels Chat. We discussed AI, my analysis and my outlook on AI, and then BBAI for sympathy movement. Those 2 stocks are still on watch because AI still looks like it could break to the upside. So inside of chat, go inside of Levels, check out the analysis on AI, understand my thought process, my game plan, and get prepared yourself. And then BBAI would be a sympathy mover if AI rips to the upside. So again, we're watching those 2 stocks, back burner sleeper plays at this point in time. And then really my focus is on the SPY like it always is. Like every single day we come in, we have a solid game plan for the most part, 80 to 90% of the time. Solid game plans, right, on the SPY. And let me ask you guys, how easy do you think it is to trade the SPY? Like, I just want to get your guys' feedback real quick. How simple and how easy but highly effective is it to trade option contracts on the SPY in just the SPY? This could be for experienced options traders. This could be for individuals inside a chat that have just made their transition from penny stocks over to options. How simple but effective do you feel it is to just trade the SPY and not really have to worry about Roblox or, Google or Tesla or Nvidia? Like, how simple do you find it to be to just get prepared and dialed in on the SPY and just trade the SPY on a day-to-day basis? I would have to say it seems to be very simple. It's very effective. We have dialed in the strategies that work really, really well with high probabilities in this current market. And, last week was a prime example of if you just watched the SPY every day, you would have freaking crushed it. Tuesday, 100% mover, a 100% winner in literally 30 minutes. Friday, another 100% winner, another 100% mover. Guys, those are some big time moves, and those were just simple setups and simple strategies on the SPY. 2 trades last week, over 100%. You guys were absolutely crushing it. I remember Glenn saying, I made $1,500 on Tuesday. I made another $1,300 on Friday. I made another. This dude's locking in $1,000 days just trading the SPY on these high quality setups, right? It's very, very simple. It's laid back. It's not a lot of stress. There's not a lot of distractions. So where I'm going with this is really take your time in the morning if you trade options to get those game plans dialed in on the SPY and really understand that, hey, if you got like 10 stocks on watch for the day, right, you don't need 10 stocks to trade options on. You could literally just watch the SPY and 80% of the time have at least one or two great trades present themselves in any given day and lock in some fantastic profits. SPY versus SPY. Greed is good. Javier, good morning, right? The simplicity of watching one thing is great. It depends on the day, of course, but I would say 80 to 90% of the time, there's always going to be some opportunity in the market to find that great trade, to keep it as simple as possible to lock in those profits. And that's what we do pretty much every day here inside of chat. We're locking in great consistent profits, and we always have some really dialed in plans on the SPY. So today, my main focus, again, team, is on the SPY for those reasons, because as a professional trader, I want to keep things as simple as possible, but make sure it's highly effective. If I can just do that on one stock, like the SPY, count me in. Count me in. And so that's what I'm doing today, guys. That's how I'm looking to maneuver this market, is just look at the SPY. So here's my analysis on the SPY. You know, I'm actually kind of 50-50 today. I'm a little 50-50, and I was actually a little 50-50 with yesterday's movement. You know, I did like, you know, that trend line that we've been talking about for, you know, a couple of weeks now. The trend line that we have, that multi-month uptrend that we came down and hit Wednesday, Thursday of last week, that we fell below Friday, and that we got back above yesterday, that trend line that we've been discussing for a couple of weeks. We actually see that it was respected, you know, 3 times yesterday. Here on the SPY, we came down and bounced several times off that trend line. And we had a nice midday move because we just wouldn't crack below that trend line. So we see this trend line is very, very respected, right? I mean, look at it. We came up into resistance on Friday off that trend line, right? We came down and hit it as support on Thursday and pretty close to it here on Wednesday. We can see this trend line is being really, really respected here as a main support and resistance level. So that's still going to be a key level that I keep on watch, is going to be that multi-month uptrend. All right. So, you know, it really depends on what we do around the trend line. If we see a big time crack below that trend line, we'll definitely be leaning towards the bearish side and be looking to take some put contracts, right? That's going to be the first thing that we would like to see on the SPY before we really start saying, let's take puts, is if we're trading below that trend line. We're cracking below that trend line, which right now we're starting to kind of dip below that trend line just a little bit. That's the first step in the right direction to start leaning towards the bearish side to be playing puts for today. But let's say the market opens and we get back above that trend line, right? Well, now we're going to be leaning towards the bullish side a little bit and want to start looking maybe for those long opportunities to play calls. So that's going to be the first level that I'm really watching today to see what we do at that multi-month uptrend, okay? Number 2 is going to be that really key support level that we were talking about yesterday that we established, right? And it's a little bit of a window, right? You have a bit of a window of where this amazing support is. So you're going to go to a low of around 396.25 to a high of 397.21. So you see how we came into the zone, you know, pretty much, you know, every day last week it seemed like. We came down into that zone, we bounced. Next day, came down in that zone, we bounced, right? Friday, that was our high, and then yesterday, that was our low. In between, again, you got to create yourself a little bit of a window here between 396.25 and 390, I would say 7.25 is going to be a great level, a great zone of support here for the SPY. And I mean, look at how many times we've come into the zone and we've bounced out of it, right? We come down and bounce, right? We crack below it, resistance several times. We're back above it, it's support. We're back above it, it's support. So again, we have that dollar window of very, very key support. So if we're above that level of support, we're still showing some strength above that trend line. That's where we're going to be looking to do, you know, basically play some calls today here on the SPY if we have some other, you know, indications that it's a good time to trade calls. And then that brings me to the flip side. Like, what if we crack that trend line? Like, what if we were just trading below the trend line? What if we start getting back below that 50 SMA? What if we start getting back below the zone and we fall below that support level here on the SPY? Well, at that point in time, we're on the bearish side of the trend line. We're back below the 50 SMA, and we're cracking some really key support levels between 396.25 and that 397.25. At that point in time, that's when I'm like, we're bearish. We're playing puts, guys. That's it. We're bearish. We're playing puts. We cracked all of these levels of support. We could definitely start dumping on off back to the downside. Where could we be headed to next if we start cracking those key levels of support? I would say back down towards around Friday's low of day, which is also going to put you very, very close to the 200 SMA. That is going to be the next key level of support here on the SPY if we fall below all of those support. All right, sorry guys, we're back up and running. I had lost internet there for a second, so back inside of chat. Fantastic. Okay, cool. Sorry guys, there's a little bit of a buffer. I lost internet, but we're back up and running. So, yeah, so we were talking about obviously what we would want to see to start taking puts. Like that's the first step in the right direction. Now, there has to be other reasons here intraday to take those put contracts. Just because we fall below 396 doesn't mean I'm getting locked and loaded to the short side and playing puts. There's got to be more reasons. Cracks and retests, tapping the downtrend, whatever the case is. There have to be intraday strategies to really start getting involved here to the short side. But that's the right step in the right direction at that point in time to play puts. Okay, but again, you got to have a long plan in place as well. So if we're holding above the 50 SMA, right? We're holding above that zone that we just established as support. And we see us getting back above and trading above that trend line, which is a key level of support. At that point in time, I am going to be long biased. I'm going to be looking to play calls. I'm going to be short-term bullish. But there still has to be other reasons intraday, other strategies that present themselves to even take the trades in the first place. Like I said, just because we're above that support level doesn't mean we're going to jump on in right out of the gate. There's got to be multiple reasons. That's really what we have right now, right? There's nothing like, hey guys, at the start of the day, if we come up to the prior day low and hit it, right, we're going to look for put contracts, right? We don't have any like out of the gate trades like we had Tuesday and Friday of last week, right? Last week was killer. Tuesday, we had our gap down. We pushed into the prior day low and we flushed on Tuesday. Right? Friday, we gapped down into the prior day low. We flushed on Friday, right? We had some great out-of-the-gate strategies. We're not really seeing anything like that right now at this point in time, right? We're not gapping down substantially to where we can see the market push on up into that resistance level and flush. There's no out-of-the-gate trades, no out-of-the-gate plans at this point in time, but we are prepared, right? We are prepared because we know at what levels that we're above. We're going to be looking for long trades today because we're above a lot of key levels of support. And if we start cracking some of these key support levels, we know at that point in time, we'll flip our bias, short-term bias, to the short side, right? And look for those great intraday opportunities to play some puts as we have some fantastic potential to really drop on down towards that Friday low. And then the last thing that I would do here on the SPY to continue to get as prepared as possible is go ahead and mark up yesterday's low of day, which is also the 50 SMA. And let's keep that level on high watch. I mean, it's yesterday's low and the 50 SMA. That's going to be 396.77. And I just want to see what we do at that level, what price action looks like, and see if there's any opportunities at that point in time. So it's a really simple day, guys. Very simple day. CDIO, your number one stock. Did you just get your 333 break up to 371? You did. Congratulations there with CDIO. Watching AMC as well here at the start of the day. You guys got your back burner sleepers here on AI. And then BB AI. And like I said, it's a very simple day for me at this point in time. The SPY, keeping this one on watch. Really going to be patient. See what we do when we open on up. Wait for the best trades to present themselves. Attack it and lock in some big time profits here, guys. Dave says, I'm bringing it back to the basics on the SPY and paper trading. Exactly. The more simple you keep it, the better you're going to be. When you start overcomplicating things, things just become more complicated. You don't see the results and the success that you want to see. When you keep things really, really simple, right? Sometimes it seems like, man, that's just too simple. No way it's going to work. Honestly, the more simple it is, the better it's going to work for you guys. All right. So there we go. We're all set. I know we had 20 minutes to fit all of that in. We definitely broke it down really nicely there for you guys with CDIO and AMC. You guys are focused, prepared, ready to rock. You have questions, you let me know. And you know my plan today here with the SPY. and what I'm expecting to be doing here at the start. The only other thing that I could see doing at this point in time is taking a downtrend, as we have a simple little downtrend here on the SPY, right? We have this downtrend, we connect here and validate here, and we flushed. So we'll be looking at that downtrend as a level of resistance, and that's a downtrend here from those pre-market lower highs. What about the RSI? It's undersold on the SPY. The RSI is not yet oversold. RSI is not yet oversold at this point in time. RSI sitting at a 43. When you dip underneath that 30 level, that's when it's technically considered to be oversold. So we're below that trend line once again, guys. You see where we opened today? We actually gapped down here on the SPY below that daily trend line. So right now at this point in time, let's go ahead and mark up yesterday's close at 397.71. And let's see if that's a resistance level here today on the SPY where we could be looking to play some put contracts off of. Okay? Because if we do bounce back up into yesterday's close, that's also going to put us right around that trend line, and there's a lot of resistance here now that we're below the trend line and we're gapping down. Support right now is going to be yesterday's low of day, which is also right at the 50 SMA. So if you guys are looking for like a bounce or a dip buy opportunity today out of the gate on the SPY, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I wouldn't be opposed to maybe jumping into some calls here at yesterday's low of day as it's right at the 50 SMA and look for the SPY to bounce back up to yesterday's close, which is going to be 397.72. That's about $1 of movement to the upside. So, I mean, again, I wouldn't be opposed to looking at February 28th contracts, going to a 397 call, and maybe scaling in down here at this 396.76 level of potential support and looking to grab some calls for that bounce, for that move back up into that 397.72. I wouldn't get overly aggressive here, but I would absolutely say scale in a little bit, maybe 2 contracts up to 10 or 20 and see if we get that nice big time dip buy, that nice bounce. So right now, definitely watching the SPY here, and actually going to go at 398. We'll actually go at 398 on the small account. All right, see if there's a reason to jump in right at that lower level for a quick little dip buy, for a quick little bounce opportunity here on the SPY. See if we can just lock in a quick little base hit. You know, we don't have a huge position here whatsoever on the small account. It's all about those percentages, right? It's all about those, you know, clean setups, clean entries. It's all about those percentages, right? It may be a $10 trade, but it could be 20%. So you got to look at this in terms of how much of a percentage move did I just capitalize on that trade. So if we do see the bids back below like 396.75, we are going to cut this here on the SPY as it's not really getting that big time reaction that you want to see off that lower level. And that's when you cut it. And that's when you cut it, right? Nice little trade there. But hey, we're not seeing that reaction. We didn't really get that bounce that we were looking for. You cut it quick for a $30 loss. In at 77, out at 70 cents. Quick little in and out, definitely worth it. We saw the reaction, we saw the bounce, we saw that it wanted it, but it was just taking a little bit too long. Go ahead and cut it.